When the person sees your ad, everybody, don't ever forget this, ladies and gentlemen, everybody walking the planet wears a neon sign that says, "What's in it for me?"
Hello and welcome to episode 86 of the Smart Agents Podcast. My name is Michael Walter and I'll be your host. In today's episode, we are joined by Mr. Marketing, Mark Newsom. With a background in direct response marketing, Mark shares how real estate agents can grow their business without relying on social media. He also shares tips for reaching new leads while building your market authority. Now, before we get on to today's featured interview, make sure to subscribe to the Smart Agents Podcast. You can find the show on all major podcasting platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and now Amazon Music. Also, if you or someone else on your team has an awesome story or tip to share with our community, send us a message at feedback@smartagents.com. We're always on the lookout for new stories to share. All right, let's get on to today's featured interview with Mark Newsom. I've included a link to his blog for you to check out more of his great marketing tips. Honestly, the way I like to start everything out is if you could just introduce yourself to us a little bit, kind of who you are and what you do in this marketing space.
Well, thank you. First of all, Mike, it's my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be one of your guests. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Newsom. I go by the moniker Mr. Marketing, but the point is I am a direct response small business marketing strategist. That's a fancy way of saying I try to take what you already have and show you how to maximize your results. And here's what I can guarantee. You probably are sitting on a gold mine of what you previously considered untapped, dead resources or assets, which we can monetize. However, I got a little ahead of myself. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. I got into this marketing space completely by accident. A good friend of mine, Bill, who I got to give him all the credit, I was actually targeting originally, you would understand this, Mike. I was working in an industry, the discounted note industry. We call it paper, second deeds of trust and all that. And the industry was it was in the Stone Age in terms of marketing. So I was going around to the conferences and speaking and doing all that and making a name for myself and building a brand. And a good friend of mine, Bill, said, "You know something, man? You should take your entire concepts and teach it to the small business industry." And I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Man, I'm telling you, it's a vacuum." He said, "Most of these people, these men and women are working way too hard and they don't get the basics of marketing. And as a direct result, Mike, you know what happens? Within 4 or 5 years, as you know, they're out of business. But more importantly, they're working in their business or service, but not on it." So what I try to do with the marketing, the promoting, advertising, whatever term you want to put on it, ladies and gentlemen, I try to show you how to maximize it so that your business or service is working twice as hard for you than you're working on it.
Right. And for our listeners, we're generally, real estate agents, brokers, but in that space, you said, so small business marketing is really where your wheelhouse is.
Absolutely.
But as a real estate agent or a broker, they're all small businesses. Yes. Every individual is a small business that they have to market themselves for.
Absolutely. Promote themselves. Absolutely. So let me start off with this, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, you should be utilizing a marketing process called direct response. Okay, what the heck's that mean, Mark? It means make your advertising or promotions accountable. Don't be an institutional investor. Like, for instance, you see these corporate ads on TV where they splash the name and that's it. And they give you the web address. Yeah, if you got deep pockets and a lot of patience, that might eventually work for you. But I'm telling you, as a small business owner, it's going to drive you out of business. You're going to be what we call upside down, meaning financially. More is going out than is coming in. You say, "Okay, well, hotshot, give us an example." Okay, here's what I'm saying. I wrote some stuff down. Like, let me share a headline with you. That's the first thing, ladies and gentlemen. You got to learn how to write what we call "what's in it for me" power headlines. When the person sees your ad, everybody, don't ever forget this, ladies and gentlemen, everybody walking the planet wears a neon sign that says, "What's in it for me?" That's what your main power headline has to viciously address and say, Mike, I'm talking to you. I understand your pain points. I know what you're going through, and I've got a potential solution for you. Now, let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. You tell me, Mike, who is this headline for? Somebody sees a headline, and this is what it says. Need help selling your home? Question mark. Who's that ad for?
Every homeowner.
There you go. And now, if I know more about what's going on in that specific area, I put a few pain points in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, think of this. You're walking through the airport. It's super crowded. There's 10,000 good-looking men, 10,000 good-looking women. Somebody jumps on a bullhorn and says, excuse me, miss, sir. Who the heck are you talking to? You got to say, attention, Michael Walters. Please report to service desk 27 for such and such airlines. Now he says, oh, they're talking to me. Diane Smith doesn't walk over there and say, did you page me? See, the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, here's a big problem. Here's what too many small business, and I used to do it too, so I'm not, standing on my soapbox, but I'm saying, here's a big problem. You're trying to be everything to everybody. No. You got to know specifically who you're talking to, just like each one of us has a unique thing, what do you call it? Your fingerprint. Everybody has a unique social security number. That makes you and I unique. There might be another Mark Newsom, but he and I don't have the same social security number. And if we do, the government's not going to like that. Okay. So the point is, you got to know what is their issues. Right. And provided you and I have the solution, let them know what the solution is. Now, here's a strategy, Mike, that I think would just work wonders for the small. You got these mega conglomerate real estate companies around you. Try this. Think about the psychology of what I'm about to tell you. Imagine, Mike, do they have those adult education centers in your area? Because I don't want to talk out of turn.
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a setup. I promise you. But if you have those adult education centers, imagine you're thumbing through the potential classes. You got a house you're thinking about selling. Look at the name of this class. How to sell your home without a licensed realtor. And guess who it's going to be taught by? Such and such licensed real estate agent. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get this straight. A licensed commission-only real estate agent is teaching a class called How to Sell Your Home Without a Realtor? How does that make any sense? I'll tell you how. Let me take a good look. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a statistical fact. And Mike, you know this better than me. Man and woman or single person puts their house for sale on the market. I'm not going to pay a real estate commission. Okay. I got the 4 to 6%. What's the rate down there, Mike?
Around here, about 6%.
Okay. Whoa. So my house is $450,000 up. And you want me to pay 6%? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. You know what's going to happen statistically? Within 8 to 10 weeks, they're going to throw in the towel because they're going to realize they're in over their head. Now stop and think about it. The person who taught this class is a licensed agent or broker. Who do you think they're going to turn to when they throw the towel in? Bingo. And what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you want control, you got to start building your own opt-in email list. What? Yes. And here's why. Too many small business owners are told, and in my opinion, this is a travesty of justice, you need to be rocking social media. Yes, absolutely. I'm on social media. Michael, you on social media? Mm-hmm. Everybody's on social media. Here's the problem. You and I are glorified tenants. The Mark Zuckerbergs of Facebook, the Reid Hoffmans of LinkedIn, they're the landlords. And guess what they can do anytime they want? Pull a plug on your account. Okay, you got 275,000 followers on Instagram, and tomorrow you don't have them. Where does that leave the entrepreneur? Homeless. You don't want that to happen. You want to drive as much of that traffic from social media to your opt-in, what we call standalone lead capture page. Now, I have a blog, youcanmarketonlinenow.com, but I also have a capture page, standalone page that says, either you want what I'm offering or you don't. You can find that and check it out at youcanmarketonlinenow.com/sales. That takes you to my capture page. I suggest you go look at it to get the idea of the layout, the main power headline, the benefits, and then boom, is either yay or nay, meaning either they think the lead magnet, the giveaway, the bait, if you will, is sexy enough, it's going to answer and address my issue, or it's not. But you don't try to have a navigational bar and this and that. In other words, you don't give them too many options. You got two options: join my list or don't. For the capture page now, I want to be clear. But the point is, you figure out what's the bait. Now, I don't mean to sound crass, but what's my giveaway? Why should they join the list? What problem am I solving for them? And if you can, I know money can be tight, get a paid email service provider. In other words, don't start out with the free service. And here's why, in my opinion. It doesn't have all the functionality. Like, here's one of the things you want to be able to do with a paid account. You can segment your list. What are you saying, Mark? For instance, Mike is giving away an offer on 7 little known reasons why you shouldn't put your house on the market before you do X. He can also have a box that says, check this box if you want to know about local foreclosed properties that are coming on the market. Well, if I check that box, he knows how to tailor the email messages to me now. You know, think of it this way. If you had a butcher shop and some of your customers come in there for the soups, they're vegans, why would you send emails about meat to a vegan and vice versa? You know, this one size fits all thing. You got to be able to segmentize. Like, for instance, Mike was telling me before we came on air, his son's a big Dodger fan. Well, he doesn't want to get information about the NFL per se, right? He wants to know about baseball, specifically Dodgers. That's how you make email marketing work for you, ladies and gentlemen, as a small business owner. And don't worry about, but Mark, I'm not a writer. That's the best type of person to write emails. You go, why is that? Because you're writing from the heart. You're not trying to be a salesperson. See, I'm a consultant and a marketer, and unfortunately, I get hung up on, oh, you got to do this. A person that's not into that, they write from almost like a journal. You just write from your heart. You know, a situation happened today with my son. I was hanging out with him or my daughter or whatever, and it made me think about you. Blah, 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 blah. This is the kind of stuff that grabs people like, wow, I love this person's emails. You know, if you're trying to be that copy and paste man or woman, it comes on. Hey, Mike, have you ever got one of these phone calls? You pick up the phone. Hello, sir. How are you today? You're like, oh, that's a telemarketer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, right away. Okay, that's not genuine. Mm-hmm. You want to speak genuine, whether the news, and here's, ladies and gentlemen, this is tough, but whether the news is good or bad, you want to be genuine. If you know interest rates are going up, don't try to sugarcoat it. Tell them. In fact, what would you do, Mike? This is the headline. Now you subscribe. Now remember, you subscribe. Bad news, exclamation point.
I'm clicking on that.
Click that baby over, right? What's going on? Hey, I hate to tell you, but interest rates are going to go up another 0.5%. And then you give them a little chart. If you're financing this much, this is how it's going to affect you. You're financing this much, but hey, no worries. If you get started right now in the next 10 days, we can lock you in and blah, 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 that kind of thing. This is what you and I have to do as small business owners. But let me get back. I deviated, Mike. I apologize. Let me get back to this example because I really want you to see how powerful this is. First of all, let's say you get 10 to 15 people sign up for the class, and let's say 15 sign up, 10 show up. And you can do this virtually, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to physically, but the physical is coming back now, Mike, right? Mm-hmm. People are going to events again. So let's say 10 people show up. We work off in marketing the rule, we call it 25 and 30. Everybody walking the planet knows at least 25 people. So those 10 people tell 25 people each, you're getting spread to 250 people. Out of that 250 or whatever the number is, 30%, 0.3 are apt to become customers within today or the next 90 days. This is powerful. So those workshops that you're giving, where you're teaching these people, and when you really feel like I can do this thing in my sleep, that's when you record it. And now you just put that link on your direct response type business card. What do you mean, Mark? That card, instead of the one you have now, the one that tells them to call or go to this website for a free report, tell them what the free report is. And here's a little strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say your webinar is 67 minutes and 32 seconds. You put that time down as the exact time of your webinar, right? So, free 67.23 minute webinar finally reveals exclamation point. And then you give it to them. The people who are interested, trust me, and you're not trying to be all things, all people, ladies and gentlemen, the people who are really interested in what you have, they're going to go to that website and listen to that webinar. And more importantly, when they go back to their circle of influence, their personal or professional inner circle, they're going to say, hey, I was on a webinar yesterday, and this guy, Mike, oh man, he blew me away. He said, if we were going to sell our home, the name of the class was How to Sell Your Home Without a Licensed Realtor. And this guy's a licensed real estate agent, and this guy's a licensed real estate agent. Right then and there, the person they're telling that to is discombobulated because they're saying, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. That person only gets paid if they sell a house and earn a commission. Why would they teach a class on how to sell your home without a realtor? And the guy said right up front, he says, I'm telling you why I'm teaching this class. Because a certain percentage of you are going to go down this road. And when you see how involved it is, you're going to realize why you need a professional like myself. And I'm going to be here. At which point you can list with me or any other agent of your choice. But obviously, I'm doing this to show you what I'm bringing to the table. And they're going to get referrals, and you're going to do some business. I won't say guaranteed, but Mike, as close as you can come without letting that word come out of my mouth, you're going to do some business. Right.
Well, and because while you're doing those workshops and those webinars, you're just building up that authority in your, and you're showing that expertise that, hey, you know what, when you do need to come back, you know that this level of education that I'm providing for you is what I'm going to help you with every step of the way getting your house sold.
Absolutely. In fact, I would take it a step further, but you're spot on. Here is another little way of taking that to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, now this, Mike, unfortunately, you know this as well as I do, but ladies and gentlemen, some of you haven't heard this. This is true. I heard this when I was a kid a long time. I mean, kid like high school, a long time ago. Now this could be worldwide, but in America, the average adult places fear of public speaking above fear of dying. What? Absolutely. They have a phobia. They will not do what Mike and I are doing right here. They won't get in front of the camera to save their lives. For whatever reason, they won't do it. They don't even want to be recorded. Now, unlike Mike, he's got a full head of hair. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, 20, 30 years ago, I had hair. It's gone. Most people just won't do it. And now, so I'm saying that to say this. For those of you who don't have a phobia, or you can get over it, if you're a real estate agent, here's what I want you to do from now on. When you're talking to a potential prospect or referral, two things. The first thing you ask them, say, if you had one issue you could name that a top professional in this area, including myself, would answer for you free of charge, say for an hour, what would it be? And you take notes. Here's what you're going to do with that information. You're going to create a series once a week of Facebook Lives where you go on Facebook and you address that very issue. And as he said, you start building authority, and people look to you as the go-to person. They say, wow, this guy really shared a lot of information. And each week, you just, again, one little subject, your Facebook Live could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. But you focus from a keyword standpoint too now. What is this issue? And you break it down. And here's what I was going to say about taking it to the next level. In your workshops, you might have a segment where you bring in a local attorney who specializes in closing real estate and let them talk. This man or woman talk for 5 minutes about some things to look to in the contract. If you see this, you want to avoid that. And why? Man, you're going to develop, like he said, some serious authority. And that is going to attract the people to you. Because think about it. Would you rather sell a home for $350,000? What if you became known as the man or woman who specializes in the 7-figure homes and up? Ooh, now when you sell a house 5-6% and tell them the referrals, I give them 4%. You know, 4% is $2 million. They jump to the math. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So the point being, you could specialize. You know, this is how you build some serious authority. Now, Mike, let me just deviate for 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, you know one of the hottest subjects out there right now. Mike, you know what it is. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. If you're a financial planner, I just talked about that workshop concept. You should put together if crypto is coming up all the time, you should put together a workshop in a local, what do we call it? Adult education centers. And try this. 7 little known things you probably were never told about cryptocurrency investing. Before you put a nickel in, you better know these 7 things. Now that kind of headline stops people in their tracks and says, what? Or the 7 most deadly mistakes. I'm sorry, the 7 most deadly common mistakes brand new cryptocurrency investors constantly make that you, and underline, you absolutely must avoid, exclamation point. That's going to get the crypto people in the room, people. Trust me. And you educate them about cryptocurrency. I'm trying to show you how you take a template, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, Mike, did you ever hear of a guy? He's passed on now. He was a financial guru named Charles Gibbons. Yeah, he was down in your area, Florida, years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, an excellent book, if you can find it still. Financial Self-Defense. I always loved that title. That was one of his mega bestsellers. And then he had one called, I think Wealth Without Risk or something like that. But here's my point. Charles Gibbons started out as an insurance executive. Now get this. He went on, after he had made it, left the insurance industry and started, pulling back the curtain, telling people about the insurance and how you should invest and why. He went on Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was still coming up. She wasn't Oprah yet, but she was huge. And Oprah invited Charles and some insurance executives and said, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, to come on her show. Charles Gibbons went on and debated these guys. And he said 30 minutes after the show went off the air, the producers of the insurance company, who at the time was spending about $2 or $3 million a year on Oprah's show for advertising, called Oprah's executive producer and said, if you ever have this clown on your show again, we'll pull $3 million worth of advertising. So Charles Gibbons said, for a guy that didn't know what he's talking about, I guess I ruffled a few feathers. So the point that I'm trying to make is, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you start to differentiate yourself from all your competitors. Because sadly, here's what most of your competitors are doing. They're just trying to get to the money. The quickest way they can. They don't want to educate you. I don't have time for that. Sign right here. Buy this. No, you want to be the compassionate educator. You want people to say, hey, when I had this problem, I turned to this person and they helped me. And when you're really going to blow them away? When you can't help them and you still point them to the right resources. Now you're making some serious ground now. All right, word is out. This is the guy or gal.
And, when I talk to the really successful agents, a lot of them are like, I'm now at I'm at a point in my career where I can't take on more new clients. It's all my referral clients or all my past clients. And the way you get those past clients and those referral clients is being that educator. You're not that I'm just in it for the money.
I'm in it for the money. Exactly. In fact, you know what? You're stealing my thunder here, Mike. Thanks. But the point is, what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, is so true. In fact, think about this. What if you had a process where there's some up and coming agents, they're struggling. You got more business you can handle. Shuffle some of that business off to them. Because you know what will happen? When they get that mega deal they really don't know how to close, guess who they're going to turn to? Mm-hmm. They're going to call you. Guaranteed. They're going to call you and say, Mike, how would you handle this? And Mike said, okay, we'll share it. I'm going to close this thing, walk you through it, and you'll get a piece of it. Man, you start getting like for instance, ladies and gentlemen, here's the old school market. Mike and I sitting in a Dunkin' Donuts talking. That's 1-to-1. Then pretty soon we get a little like adult education, you get 10, 15 people a speaker. Once you get to something like podcasting, it's one to the many. You follow what I'm saying? That's leverage, gang. That's what you want. That's what Archimedes meant when he said, given a lever long enough, I could move the world. Because he's telling you that that's how you get leverage. Well, the way you and I get leverage, we get what I like to call word of mouth and mouse. That's the way you get it. So, Mike, is it okay if I share with your audience the magic question?
Absolutely. Go
I
ahead.
want to make sure you triggered something. I said, make sure you get your magic question. I'm going to use this right now on Michael, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't know what I'm going to say. I promise you, we didn't rehearse this before we came on. So we're going to see if this Mr. Marketing guy has the goods right here, right now. Michael, is it okay if I periodically refer you new business and customers?
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? Now, by the same token, Mike, as long as it doesn't take away from anything you're doing right now or will have going on in the future, are you okay with periodically returning the favor?
Yeah, as part of the partnership.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's what you know. You hear the words, but here's what I want you to understand what Michael's really saying. Mark, not only do you get access to the current resources, assets, contacts, and connections I have right now, but tomorrow and beyond, and the ones that I have that are even better in the future, you're going to get access to those too. That's what the magic question will do for you, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to start asking that. That is a powerful door opener and potential game changer. And here's something else I want you to think about. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still, and I have a niece, she doesn't do anything offline. Poor thing, she doesn't know snail mail was going on before the internet. Her thing is, we do everything online. Well, I got news for you. There are still people who put a stamp on mail and mail stuff, bills or whatever. If that's you, once you've got your direct response type business card, you tested it, it's not a brochure, it's a lead magnet, you start putting that puppy in your outgoing mail. And you test it out. Like say you got let's just say 2 bills you're still paying snail mail. You put business card A in here and business card B in here and you're for a year and you just test. Because here's what you got to understand. Somebody's physically opening that mail. And they're going to see that not your institutional business card you have now. I'm saying a direct response type business card. They're going to open that mail. Now, for 6 months, 8 months, they may just throw it in the trash. Then they move to another department and somebody new starts opening that mail and they go, whoa, what is this? And they pass it to somebody who passes it to somebody. You don't know this behind the scenes. And you get a phone call, say, hey, listen, you don't know me, but a friend of mine passed me your card. They said you've been getting your card in their mail. They work in the mail department for company X. And the next thing you know, you got a listing for a $650,000 house and their inner circle and their professional circle. This is called leverage, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand that? Now, Mike, if I'm not mistaken, when this thing gets recorded, not just me, but all your guests, what social media channels or if any, do you send them out on?
We do all of them. We do Instagram, YouTube. It's all over Facebook. We have a email list that's, about 150,000. I mean, it's a
oh my
big...
goodness, my blood's curdling. But ladies and gentlemen, do you hear this? And I'm going to do the same. My list is nowhere near as huge as his. I wish it was. But the point is, I'm going to do the same. People who've never heard of his podcast are going to get exposed to it now. So he may pick up some new listeners or a potential new sponsor, So the point is, that's leverage. That's what you and I want to start doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an active blog. I want you to go there and read some of the different blog posts. I try to publish, believe it or not, 6 days a week. Sunday, I don't publish. But the point is, even if you only publish when I say even, if you publish at least once a week, get some fresh content out there that's problem solving, that's an issue that your target audience is interested in. Don't get on the fringe, get on the main meat and potatoes of your industry. You're going to start attracting the right people who can then forward that information to somebody else. Hey, you know what? I saw this deal. It wasn't right for me, but aren't you trying to sell your house? Or didn't you try? And there you go. That's the way this, you know what I call it, Mike? It's like hitchhiking. We're hitchhiking our way around the internet. This is what you need to be doing to create some, ladies and gentlemen, some leverage like you can't believe.
And the great thing about the real estate industry is you can create those blogs 6 days a week very easily. You just go, there are hundreds and hundreds of questions. Agents get these same questions every single day from their buyers and sellers. Just record a quick little video, maybe transcribe it into a blog, and there you go. You've got your content.
This guy's putting me out of business. He's on some serious marketing strategy. You're spot on. You are so spot on. But here's the main thing, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you don't, like I said, the frequency isn't as important. What's important is your message that you're delivering tells your audience, this man or woman understands what I'm going through, and they've got the potential solutions, or they've got access to the resources, which may mean somebody, like, for instance, somebody could come to Michael and say, Michael, I got a cousin that's going through foreclosure. And Michael says, you know what? I know one of the top foreclosure real estate attorneys in the area. Why don't you give them a call? They'll do a free 30-minute consultation with you, no pressure. They'll find out what your situation is. And if they can't help you, they'll tell you. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all your awesome tips. And, again, all this stuff, it's so relatable to not only, the small businesses, but real estate agents and the brokers, because at the end of the day, they are representing their own small business.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got value out of it. I invite you, check me out at my blog. I've got a free 9-page special report. And I also have a small business marketing mastery series, 22 sequential email follow-up messages. That's a $97 value. And ladies and gentlemen, here is my promise to you. If you decide to become a VIP Inner Circle subscriber, if for whatever reason you're going through that thing, you say, Mark, this just isn't for me, please feel free to unsubscribe anytime you wish, for whatever reason you want, and you and I can still be friends. Absolutely no hard feelings.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
I want to thank Mark for joining us today, and I'm a true believer in the fact that offering value to potential customers will not only help you succeed in winning their business on the front end, but also set you up for long-term repeat and referral success. So once again, if you think you or someone else on your team has an awesome story or tip to share with our community, send us a message at feedback@smartagents.com. Well, that wraps things up for this episode, but remember, follow the show wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure to subscribe to the Smart Agents YouTube channel. Again, I'm Michael Walter, and we'll see you on the next episode.